Houston integrity com check from seat 1.
Seat 1, have you loud and clear coming down on both OE1 and 2. How me on 1?
Got you loud and clear on 1, Jackie. We're going to stay in this config on both 1 and 2, and Reid and Victor are in our seats, slowly proceeding along.
Okay, we copy, and just to confirm, that means that you've got the bulk of your suits donned, is that correct?
Just for Reid and Victor, A-firm. We're not gloved, not helmeted yet.
Copy all. Thanks. Integrity BFS is configured for entry with outputs inhibited. And a reminder, when you get to step 9.3, use your separate instance of 18.3.101 to save off the time.
100%, thanks.
Houston integrity com check from C2.
Victor, have you loud and clear? I'm coming up on 1. How me?
Jackie, I have you loud and clear on 1.
You are loud and clear on 2, Jackie.
steps 12, 13, 14, and 15 are complete.
Jeremy Houston copies. Thank you.
This is Mission Control Houston, 8 days, 22 hours, 55 minutes into the flight of Integrity on the Artemis II mission. On board the vehicle, the 4 crew members, Commander Reid Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, and mission specialists Jeremy Hansen and Christina Koch are suiting up in their Orion crew survival suits, the launch and entry suits that they also wore during their launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st. Once the crew is all suited up, they'll conduct a series of leak checks to make sure that they have good suit integrity, aboard integrity, before they strap themselves into their seats for the final phase of this mission that will culminate with a splashdown in the Pacific 2 hours and 35 minutes from now at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time, about 2.5 hours before sunset, southwest of San Diego. And the suits are in the process of being leak checked at the present time. We'll relay all that to you in just a few moments. Right now, integrity is just about 20,000 nautical miles from the Earth, continuing to accelerate towards the next major milestone, which will be the separation of the crew module from the European service module 2 hours and 1 minute from now. That separation maneuver, pyrotechnically, will occur at 6:33 p.m. Central Time. That will be followed just 4 minutes later by a raise burn, a 19-second burn of Integrity's thrusters to induce a change in velocity of 9.9 feet per second, slightly raising up the aft end of the vehicle to improve its angle of attack as it enters the Earth's atmosphere, and in the process mitigates the peak heating effects on the heat shield of the vehicle. Out in the splashdown zone, out in the Pacific Ocean, the weather is forecast to be go by the Spaceflight Meteorology Group here at the Johnson Space Center. Winds of just about 10 knots and wave heights less than 4 feet, which should be ideal for the recovery forces that are being deployed from the USS John Murtha to recover the crew, extract them, hoist them into 2 Navy helicopters, and fly them back to the deck of the Murtha to be brought into medical bay for post-splashdown medical checks. We now have a report from the environmental systems officer here that we have good suit leak checks. All 4 suits have passed the leak check, so we are in good shape here for entry and splashdown coming up just over 2.5 hours from now. One data point, just an update on some numbers that we've just received from Flight Dynamics, and these are unofficial and will not become official until post-flight. We now anticipate that the maximum speed that Integrity will encounter as it enters the Earth's atmosphere will be right around the same time as we enter a communications blackout of 6 minutes in duration. We're expecting Integrity's peak speed at 6:54 and 4 seconds p.m. Central Time, and at that point, the vehicle should be traveling at 24,661.21 miles per hour, which will be just 130 miles short in velocity of the record that was set back in 1969 by the Apollo 10 crew, Tom Stafford, Gene Cernan, and John Young, on their return from orbiting the moon. Once again, that peak speed expected to be reached just a few seconds after the start of entry interface, as the vehicle plummets back into the Earth's atmosphere. The peak speed expected to be reached at 6:54 and 4 seconds p.m. Central Time, and that peak speed now estimated by Flight Dynamics to be 24,661.21 miles per hour, which equates to about Mach 33.
Houston Integrity, seat 1 and 2, leak check complete. Also, we powered up the AGA, and it's giving us a CO2 alarm at 4.4.
We copy leak check. We saw it as well. And copy CO2 at 4.4. We are discussing.
We also on the AGA have a bit A of 16. We've seen that in the past. Should go away.
And Reid, is the AGA been powered for 5 minutes yet, or are we still in that wait period?
We are in the wait period. We expect that bit will go away.
We copy, and that bit can also indicate that we cannot trust the other values, so we'll check back with you after the 5 minutes on the CO2 levels.
A firm.
This is Mission Control Houston. Mission elapsed time of 8 days, 23 hours, 2 minutes into the flight of integrity on the Artemis II mission. While we have a moment here, just an opportunity to run down some of the chronological highlights that lie ahead over the next 2.5 hours before integrity splashes down in the Pacific Ocean. Coming up at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will begin a simulcast of NASA Plus coverage that will accompany our 24/7 YouTube coverage that we have been providing ever since we began the mission with the tanking of the Space Launch System at the Kennedy Space Center for launch back on April 1st.
Houston integrity, we are complete through steps 18. Seats 3 and 4 are yet to suit, obviously.
Jeremy, we copy you completed 16 through 18 and confirm for us whether you needed any adjustments of CIAS in step 17.
Negative. All the settings were still in their launch config.
Houston copies.
Once again, with the leak checks having been successfully completed on the 4 launch and entry suits for the crew members on board Integrity, once again we'll begin our NASA Plus coverage as a simulcast to our 24/7 YouTube coverage in less than an hour at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. At 6:15 p.m., we're going to hand over communications from the Deep Space Network to the Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System as Integrity continues to approach the Earth. Currently, Integrity is less than 20,000 nautical miles from its destination and a splashdown in the Pacific. We will separate the European service module from the crew module at 6:33 p.m. Central Time. And just 4 minutes later, we'll conduct a raise burn, a 19-second burn of the Integrity thrusters to slightly tilt the vehicle's orientation upward, with the aft end being tilted upward. That will also change the velocity by 9.9 feet per second and complete the orientation of the vehicle for its angle of attack as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. Entry interface, where we reach the first traces of Earth's atmosphere and where most of the dynamic operations will then begin. Entry interface is scheduled at 6:53 and 31 seconds p.m. Central Time, where Integrity will be at an altitude of 400,000 feet above the Earth, traveling at about 34,882 feet per second with a range to splashdown of 1,701 nautical miles. Just 10 seconds, just a few seconds later, about 24 seconds later, we'll enter a 6-minute communications blackout at 6:53 and 55 seconds p.m. That communications blackout will be due to the buildup of plasma around the vehicle, the ionization of the interaction of the velocity of Integrity with the friction of the Earth's atmosphere. So the communications blackout, to last about 6 minutes in duration, will start 24 seconds after entry interface. At 6:54 and 4 seconds p.m., we'll reach our peak velocity. This is an estimation from Flight Dynamics. We should be reaching a peak velocity of 24,661.21 miles per hour, or somewhere around Mach 33. This will fall about 130 miles per hour short of the speed record set by the Apollo 10 command module, the Charlie Brown, during the Apollo 10 mission of Tom Stafford, Gene Cernan, and John Young back in the spring of 1969. Once the communications blackout ends, which is expected just a few seconds before 7 p.m. Central Time, 6:59 and 56 seconds p.m. Central Time, we will be at an altitude of 157,000 feet over the Pacific Ocean, and at that point we should be traveling at about 13,300 feet per second with a range to splashdown of just 147 nautical miles. There will be a series of roll reversals, first to the left, allowing Integrity to bank to the left. These are computer-commanded, not crew-commanded, but computer-commanded roll reversals to bank the vehicle first to the left, then to the right. That bleeds off excess energy and helps to reduce the speed and the heating effects on the vehicle during the final phase of flight. Starting at 7:03 and 22 seconds p.m. Central Time, we'll begin the series of chute deployments. In all, there are 11 parachutes associated with this mission. The first 3 will pull off the forward bay cover from the top of the vehicle. The forward bay cover chutes are 3. That'll be followed by the deployment of the drogue chutes at 7:03 and 23 seconds p.m. Then 3 pilot parachutes will pull the main parachutes, 3 of them, from the forward bay cover. The forward bay housing all of the parachutes at the very top of Orion. The main chute deploy is scheduled at 7:04 and 44 seconds p.m. The vehicle will have slowed to just a very glacial speed of 198 miles per hour, feet per second, I should say, at that point, at an altitude of 5,400 feet above the Pacific Ocean. The splashdown velocity, of course, will be 0. 19 miles an hour is the velocity that the crew will feel under the 3 main parachutes as they splash down in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego. So a number of major milestones lie ahead. Splashdown time is currently estimated at 7:07 and 7 seconds p.m. Central Time, 5:07 and 7 seconds p.m. Pacific Time. That will conclude a total traveling distance from launch to splashdown of 694,481 statute miles. We're just 1 hour and 48 minutes away now from crew module, service module separation. The crew has donned their launch and entry suits. They've conducted leak checks. Everything is in order, and the weather is go at the splashdown site. Some of the flying assets that will collect imagery of the descent of Integrity towards splashdown have already been deployed from the deck of the USS John Murtha. The actual recovery team members will be deployed in helicopters and fast boats a bit later on as we approach splashdown, and of course after splashdown itself. Once the vehicle splashes down, we'll be deploying the 5 inflatable airbags at the top of the vehicle with helium. That will ensure that the vehicle is upright throughout the course of the recovery operations. The team here in Mission Control will check all of the systems on Integrity, make sure that we are not leaking any toxic gases from the spacecraft, and that will be the signal for the start of the power down of Integrity systems and the ability of the first members of the recovery team to approach the vehicle to set up the inflatable life raft called the front porch, which will be used to bring the crew members out of the vehicle into that front porch one by one after the hatch is open to Integrity. We expect the extraction of the crew to be some 45 minutes to an hour after splashdown, which would be about 30 to 45 minutes after the vehicle is powered down.
Integrity, Houston, we are ready for another CO2 reading on the AGA.
It is 5.1.
Houston copies. And Reid, earlier I did misspeak. The CO2 reading specifically would not have been affected by that particular bit.
Okay, sounds good. We just know we're in an ARS suit, and that's very likely contributing to that.
We concur. Integrity, Houston, for CO2.
Go ahead, Jackie.
Hey, Reid, what we'd like to do is open the ARS ISO valve to mix the cabin and suit loop air for the time being. And we would just need a call from you all when Christina and Jeremy are getting in their seats and are a few minutes out from leak checks, and we'll get that back into a good config for you to start the next leak checks.
Hey, Jackie, that's a reasonably good idea. Can we just hang on that for a little bit and see how we're doing?
Yep, up to you. We will wait. Let us know if you'd like that cabin air mixing.
Is there a CO2 number where you guys would advise on that?
Reid, we would not want to go above 7.
Yeah, that's perfect. Let us monitor it for just a couple minutes here. Houston, cabin entry config is complete, and Christina and Jeremy are about to start suit done.
Excellent on cabin config and copy suit down.
That call from Commander Reid Wiseman aboard Integrity indicating that following the successful leak checks on the 4 launch and entry suits, the crew will begin to actually don those suits now, and then they'll climb into their respective seats, both on the flight deck and the mid deck of the Integrity, in preparation for crew module service module separation that's scheduled 1 hour and 40 minutes from now.
Integrity, Houston, for entry checklist. Your CMSM SEP ATP is set to go.
We see that on the PFD, Jackie.
And the call from Capcom Jackie Mahaffey here in Mission Control to Reid Wiseman, indicating that the pyros are armed for crew module service module separation coming up 1 hour 38 minutes 52 seconds from now. Integrity now squarely facing the planet Earth, 17,600 nautical miles away, headed for a splashdown 2 hours 12 minutes from now. All of the recovery assets, the helicopters, the Navy P-3s, the para-rescued divers, they're all in place, ready to recover this crew following splashdown. And again, the chronology after splashdown will call for the flight control team here in Houston to assess integrity systems, make sure no toxic gases are leaking from the spacecraft. And first order of business will be the command to inflate the crew module uprighting system bags, the 5 inflatable airbags that will be inflated with helium to maintain its upright position as it bobs in the Pacific before the recovery forces reach the crew. About 15 minutes after splashdown is when we expect the green light to be given to power down integrity systems, at which point the recovery teams will begin to make their way toward the vehicle to set up that inflatable life raft called the front porch, buttressed alongside the spacecraft. That will be the precursor to the opening of the hatch and the extraction of the crew members, one by one, into that raft, giving them a chance to get their land legs back as they feel the first sensations of Earth's gravity in 9 days and their high-speed return to Earth, with their peak speed reaching some 24,661 miles an hour.
Houston, Christina's got an amazing view of home planet out the side hatch window, and it's lighting up the cabin, and it's just a great blue hue to it. It's beautiful.
That is amazing. When you kicked us out of the cabin, we turned on one of the SAW cameras and also had the Earth's reflection on one of the arrays. It was very cool.
Oh, man, that is amazing.
This is Mission Control Houston. Commander Reid Wiseman reveling about the view of the Earth from a distance of less than 17,000 nautical miles now.
The cabin audio cable and boom mic are in F3 large stowed.
We copy.
The view that Reid Wiseman is describing is the view you're looking at right now as the Earth grows larger in the field of view with each passing moment. We're about 29 minutes away from the start of the NASA Plus coverage, joining our 24/7 YouTube coverage as a simulcast for the remainder of the evening through the time the crew is on the deck of the USS Merthyr and in medical bay. So we'll be looking forward to additional reports and other video coverage from the deck of the USS John Merthyr and other assets in the splashdown zone as we continue toward splashdown and the return of Integrity's astronauts just 2 hours and 5 minutes from now. Couple of minor updates, just tweaks by a second or so for some of the key activities that will be coming up. Flight Dynamics providing us with some updated information. The start of the blackout period, just a 1 second change. It's going to be estimated now at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time. The duration remains 6 minutes. That blackout will end at 6:59 and 55 seconds p.m. all Central Time. We expect to begin entering the Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet at 6:53 and 30 seconds p.m. And 1 second difference now in our splashdown time, if everything unfolds the way we believe it will. Splashdown now scheduled at 7:07 and 8 seconds p.m. Central Time, 7:07 and 8 seconds p.m. Central Time, 5:07 and 8 seconds p.m. Pacific Time at the splashdown zone off the coast of San Diego. And one other update, the latest weather forecast from the Spaceflight Meteorology Group passed on to Flight Director Rick Henfling, calls for the clouds in the splashdown zone to be in the process of dissipating. The winds are somewhat reduced, now just 6 knots. The wave height's still less than 4 feet. All go forecast. So once again, the stage is set as Integrity continues its inexorable march toward a splashdown in the Pacific 2 hours from now. 16,000 nautical miles away from the Earth. We are just 1 hour and 26 minutes away from crew module, service module separation, followed by a raise burn to tilt the aft end of the vehicle up ever so slightly and improve its angle of attack into the Earth's atmosphere as a mitigating action to reduce heat loads on the heat shield of the vehicle. This is all pre-planned, pre-flight. There's no differentiation between what we had designed this mission to do. We are expecting to reach the first traces of Earth's atmosphere at entry interface and 400,000 feet above the planet 1 hour and 45 minutes from now.
Integrity, Houston. Cabin temp cold soaking is initiated.
Copy that, Jackie. CO2 is 5.5, and we are still doing good on board. Christina and Jeremy are beginning suit on.
Houston copies all. Integrity Houston for entry checklist.
Go ahead, Jackie.
Reid, with this time to EI, we expect you're about to be stepping into steps 9 and 10 in the entry checklist. In step 10 for the SIP switch config, there are no deltas.
No deltas to step 10. Copy all.
This is Mission Control, Houston. Once again, a great view of the planet Earth from Integrity from one of the solar array wing cameras. Now just 14,000 nautical miles from Splashdown. Splashdown schedule for 7:07 and 8 seconds p.m. Central Time, 5:07 and 8 seconds p.m. Pacific Time. At a point to the southwest of San Diego in the Pacific Ocean, where the USS John Murtha is on station and where recovery team assets are being deployed to the predicted splashdown site to complete the mission of Integrity's astronauts and their lunar flyby. With the Earth growing larger in the field of view, the next major milestone, just 1 hour and 13 minutes from now, will be the separation of the crew module from the European service module.
Houston copies.
The separation of the crew module will set the stage just 3.5 minutes later.
One question.
Go ahead.
When I was looking at the BFS-SM SEP, it was the exact same time as our predicted SM SEP. Can you just confirm we don't need that to be a touch later?
And Reid, matching is expected. That's when the sequence will begin for that whole SEP config.
Outstanding. Thank you for the verification.
Here in Mission Control in the Artemis Flight Control Room, Capcom Jackie Mahaffey confirming some of the timeline activities with Commander Reid Wiseman aboard the vehicle. The crew has suited up in its launch and entry suits, ready to begin the critical phase of this mission. Their homecoming to a high-speed entry and a parachute-assisted splashdown in the Pacific. Once again, the next major milestone, 1 hour, 11 minutes from now, the separation of the crew module from the European service module as Artemis's astronauts head home to complete this historic flight.